News 3's David Douglas listened to the speech with activists on the UW campus and joins us live with their reaction tonight. David?
Well, Eric, some here took exception to another number floated by the president, $30 billion that will be spent on the war effort in the next year alone, while others took exception to the surge altogether.
I know that this decision asks even more of you.
Radio might have been the best way to get the president's message Tuesday.
I make this decision because I am convinced that our security is at stake.
Because it forces you to listen. Yet most of this group did not like what they heard.
I was on several occasions really disgusted.
I'm not sure if this is something that we can afford at this point after the huge deficit we have.
The anger in the room palpable over not just the president sending more troops to Afghanistan, but having any there at all.
It's a slaughter. What are we doing? I think this is just unconscionable for a civilized world.
I don't think there's really an option to just pick up ship and leave right now. We've invested too much in this area.
UW professor and foreign affairs expert Jeremy Suri says ending the fight like many here support isn't that simple.
If things get worse in Pakistan, we will have no choice but to intervene. If we allow that to happen, we'll have to send more force in more hazardous conditions into the region. This is a way to try to prevent that from happening.
An argument the president seems to agree with.
We have no interest in occupying your country.
And a message that was the last thing most in this room were hoping to hear.
30,000 more troops, that's not okay. That is not an end to the war.
And that group met for another hour and a half after things wrapped up with the speech, talking about how to get their message out, how to pass on to people that this surge was not a good idea. They will face an uphill battle, though, as Professor Suri suggests. Even before the surge, there would likely be American troops in Afghanistan for years to come, albeit at a much smaller number.
And David, Professor Suri, I'd be interested to find out what he thinks about President Obama's approach to rebuilding Afghanistan.
Well, actually, to quote him, Eric, and I have a good quote here, he says, the military is really, really good at smashing heads. What they're not really good at is rebuilding societies. That is the task here and the test, and it's one that both the commander-in-chief and the commanders on the ground are going to have to prove themselves at.
All right, the night team's David Douglas reporting tonight. David, thank you very much.